I never thought I'd be the kind of dad writing this, but here I am, sitting alone in my living room, staring at the same couch where my entire world just shattered 2 days ago. My 16-year-old daughter has had this best friend since she was 13, and from the very first time I met him, I could have sworn he was guy mean. Everything about him, the way he talked, the way he carried himself, even at 13 years old, it all just seemed so obvious. And honestly, he seemed like a genuinely good kid, so I never questioned it when they started having sleepovers at each other's houses. I'm a single, widowed dad. It's just been my daughter in this house for years now, ever since my wife passed, and I've tried so hard to be both parents for her. To keep that line of communication open, to make sure she always felt safe talking to me about anything. They always had other girls with them during these sleepovers. There was always a group, so in my mind it was perfectly innocent, just kids being kids. And I trusted her completely because that's what we'd built together. After losing her mom trust honesty, a bond I thought was unbreakable. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling well at work. Something wasn't sitting right in my stomach, so I decided to leave early and just come home to rest. And I came in through the garage, like I always do, which leads directly into the living room and is kind of soundproof from the rest of the house, so nobody would have heard me coming. The moment I stepped inside, I froze. My daughter and her so-called gay best friend were completely naked, having sex on my couch, right there in the middle of our living room, and the image is burned into my brain in a way I know will haunt me forever. He grabbed his clothes in a panic and literally ran out of my house. Didn't say a word, didn't even look at me, just bolted like his life depended on it. And my daughter, my little girl, she ran straight to her room and hasn't come out since. She hasn't gone to school. She hasn't eaten meals with me. She won't even open her door when I knock. And every time I try to talk to her through that closed door, I'm met with complete silence, like I don't even exist anymore. The questions are eating me alive from the inside out. How long has this been going on? Was this just a one-time mistake, or have they been lying to me for years? Has this boy been coming into my home, sleeping under my roof, eating at my table, all while secretly dating my daughter and making a fool out of me? I feel so stupid, so used, so utterly betrayed, because I genuinely believed we were closer than this, that she would never hide something this massive from me, especially not for what could have been years. I keep replaying every sleepover in my mind, every time I drove them somewhere, every conversation where she insisted he was just her friend, and I wonder how many times she looked me in the eye and lied without me even knowing it. Part of me is angry, furious even, because I've given everything to raise her right after her mother died, to be the dad who listens, who doesn't judge, who she can come to with anything. And this is what I get in return: complete deception. But there's another part of me, a deeper part, that's just heartbroken and terrified. Because what if something happens? What if she's not being safe? What if this boy isn't who I thought he was at all? And what if my daughter has been navigating this whole relationship in secret because she didn't think she could trust me? Which means I failed her as a father in the worst possible way. I don't even know if he's actually gay, or if that was all just an act to get close to her, to get my permission to spend nights in this house with her. And that thought makes my blood boil, because it means I was played, manipulated by a kid whom I welcomed into our lives with open arms. Right now, sitting here in the deafening silence of my own home, I feel more alone than I did even in the darkest days after my wife's death. Because at least back then, I had my daughter by my side, and we were a team grieving together. But now I don't even know who she is anymore. I don't know how to move forward from this. How to bridge the gap between us when she won't even speak to me. How to address the lying and the sneaking around without pushing her further away. And I'm terrified that if I handle this wrong, I'll lose her completely, and she's all I have left in this world. I keep thinking about all the times I could have seen the signs, all the little moments I probably dismissed because I trusted her, because I wanted to believe my daughter would never deceive me like this. And now I'm questioning every single interaction, every decision I've made as a parent since she hit puberty. The hurt runs so deep because this wasn't just about sex or teenage rebellion. This was about trust, about the foundation of our relationship that I thought was solid. And now I'm realizing it might have been built on lies for longer than I want to admit. I want to burst into her room and demand answers, to know the truth about everything. But I also know that approach will only make things worse, will only push her further into her shell, and I'll never get the honesty I desperately need. So here I sit, a father who thought he was doing everything right, who thought he had built the kind of relationship where his daughter would come to him with the truth. Now facing the reality that maybe I don't know her at all, and maybe I never did.